All right, thank you for stopping in. And if you've been to the channel before, I'm usually doing mythology, but I do like to talk about culture. So I usually stay out of stuff that's current topics. I mean, ironically, I don't really talk much about what's going on in the media. Every now and then something will hit me, and I'll want to bring it up. And this is something that this is in response or associated with Katt Williams' discussion about men wearing dresses. I didn't get into like who he had issues in their party, but something that's I think has been a topic for me has been men in dresses. And for years, you guys don't know I don't do this stuff on YouTube, but in my personal life, I like to get dressed up. Halloween's always my time. I've done like Cleveland Brown, I did Lamont Sanford, right? I like to do black figures because it's kind of funny, like doing Cleveland, me in a yellow shirt, right? But one year, my friends were like, my wife even was like, oh, you should go as Florida Evans, right? And she was going to go as like James. And I'm like, no, I'm not putting on a dress, which is something I just didn't feel comfortable with. And I didn't want to be photographed with that. Now it's become a topic. And this is something that Brandon T Jones, if you guys are familiar with this actor, the young man was in the Percy Jackson was where I first saw him, done some other films. This is where was his thoughts on it. So I thought it was very prevalent because he talks about culture.
Wasn't slack from people. Only Katt Williams. Katt Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress.
He called you, or is it?
No, he was saying in the media, so I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I was immature.
Right.
I feel like, dang, why I'm trying to make it. Why you bashing me? And then he was trying to warn me, don't get in the dress. So, you awakened Brandon, you couldn't pay him $1 trillion to get in the dress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was it like, how did they present that? Well, you knew right away you had to get in a dress.
I did the scene on lottery ticket.
Okay.
That scene on lottery ticket. After that, they were pushing his dress on me. It was something about that scene. I think the dress, personally, is a thing that is not in our culture to do. And I think everybody will want to put their culture on that. So no, not to hate your culture or your God. Mm-hmm. If your God say you can put on a dress and your culture is normal for you, that you have the right as a human to choose that. But me, for my God and my culture, my ancient culture, we didn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was cursed by it. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then.
So that was, I thought a pretty powerful statement that he had, because a lot of people, when I was working with CBT, we talked about, your culture being your medicine, and that for most people, you want to go back to your roots. If you're in doubt about things, if you're having, and that's for all people. That's not just for us who are a part of the diaspora, right? Descendants from Africa. Going back to your culture is very important. And what Brandon said there was ideally that he went back to his culture. He said unawakened Brandon would have done it, but the new awakened Brandon wouldn't do this because he was looking back at what his culture was. And I think that's the most important part. And he really talked about how it's all about choice. You do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy. But for those who are a little bit in doubt about it, go back to your culture. It teaches you a lot. Those things, men in dresses, were not a part of our culture. So it's something that has changed, right, in us since we've been probably here. And that's just an important thing. So I just wanted to bring that up. This is another segment about going back into your culture. So thanks for stopping in. Got some new mythology stories coming out. Definitely check them out, please.